Hey, what's going on? It's brother Kamal Mahar here. First things first, I want to give all praise to the Father, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to those apostles from GMS that I definitely learned this truth from wholeheartedly. And peace and blessings to the Akim out there preaching his word with whole heart, truth, and sincerity. Blessings to the 144,000 and the 1/3 first fruits of kingdom of heaven, which make up the women and children. What's going on, the confusion of faces, speaking in different tongues and looking in different nations. What's going on? Shalom. So today, which again, I'm back at it again. All praise to the Most High, doing this work. I haven't did a R.F.I.D chip, aka Mark of the Beast, that Revelation 13 speaks about, and what will happen if you get it in Revelation 14 in the next chapter. I haven't spoke like this in a while, and it's due for another update on about it and what's happening right now in today's time as far as the progression of the so-called Mark of the Beast. R.F.I.D chip was called a radio frequency identification. So I'm gonna get on this preset. I'm gonna go ahead and definitely break it down and talk about a little something about it. It says Revelation 13 and 15 says, and he had the power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causes all, both small, great, rich, and poor, free and bond, to receive the mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, say he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name, which is 666. Now, see, this is very, very significant in this particular truth that we're in. The mark of the beast is like probably one of the most detrimental and most life or death situations you can actually go through when you get in this truth. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can be put to death. That's just nothing, sinning in all kinds of great ways, which has been mentioned left and right. Just think about Esau, so-called white man, see what they've been doing over the years. We ain't got to talk about that one. But that's a great way to be put to death. Which is in the spirit. Which is in the spirit is an incredible thing. Revelation 13 in the chapter I'm in right now. That's the spirit, because I wasn't looking for this, but it's right in my face. See, that's how the spirit works. It works in an amazing situation. I just spoke about Esau on how the ways you can actually put to death. Not mention the fact that I'm on the topic of Mark of the Beast, which you also can be killed from taking the beast in your right hand or in your forehead. But just to piggyback off of what I meant, what is one of the number one things that Esau did to our people, Hebrew Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians? He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints, which the saints are the Hebrew Israelites. You can look that up in Psalms 148 of who the saints are, which is definitely Hebrew Israelites. I'm just saying. But back to my point. The Mark of the Beast, aka R.F.I.D chip, is where it's like you can literally take about, I would say, once everything is set up, I would say, damnation and death and all eternally in brimstone, lake of fire. That can actually go down. So let's look at it like this. A lot of people will say it takes 1 second to go shoot somebody and then the rest of your life in jail. 1 second to the rest of your life, or however long it's going to be, which is way, way longer than 1 second. But with the same concept, the mark of the beast takes about 2 to 3 minutes to insert into your right hand, and I'm pretty sure it would take surgery to get it into the mind, which hasn't been heard about yet, but it will happen. I'm not really hearing too much about chips being in the mind yet, but they're coming. Especially that new movie that came out called Upgrade, which is very close on how the chip was embedded into his back because he was crippled, and the chip actually upgraded him to made him to a superhuman reflexes, speed, and endurance and things of that nature, which affected his brain to be able to speak to the chip and the chip speak to him. Which basically, in the spirit is like basically, made his brain more substantial. But this particular situation right here is that it takes about, 2 to 3 minutes to get that inserted into your right hand, and then all eternity in a lake of fire and brimstone. I mean, like 2 to 3 minutes, and then all eternity. Like, okay, now that's just craziness. Like, that's kind of like a no-brainer. But there's a lot of people that's going to be taking this chip willingly. And I got a video to actually prove that, which I had showed the video before, that willingly is already here. Because most people, like Esau, so-called white man, in the land of Edom, you know what I'm saying, which is right now in the United States, Babylon the Great and the whore, you know what I mean? They love conveniency and they love things fast. They love things to be right now and just, straight to the point. And I need mine. I need it now. And so anything that makes them more convenient, more comfortable, with a lot more less labor, they're all for it. All for it. That's what they do. And so I'm preaching to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Indians, that we don't need the chip. All we need is Yahweh Bashem Yahushua and the faith and belief that he will deliver us, and we are going to be able to eat and buy and sell in our own little way with the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. How we will survive will be separate from the mark of the beast. Just believe that, have the faith, and pray for more faith and belief that this will happen, that this is coming, and this is how it's going to go down, because the Most High said it and He's written it, and his words are not void at all. It doesn't come back void at all. What He says goes down. And the Most High is all about power and miracles. That's what He been about, and that's what He is about. So He's the creator, and His Son doing a thing. Then it doesn't matter what, how, and what, and what's going to go down. It doesn't matter with that. Have faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, because it's going to be hard. Oh yeah, trust me. And listen, I'm not going to sit here and be pumping like, I pray for faith in these days like crazy. But at the end of the day, though, it got to go down, because due to faith, that's the only way it's going to work. So, with this whole thing being said, that's a long time to be in a lake of fire for about 2 to 3 minutes of an insertion. And another thing I'm learning as well, you see where it says 16, it says he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now, if you look up the word mark, how this is one of my ways, or me knowing, or my belief, or my faith, that the mark of the beast is the R.F.I.D chip. Because if you look up the word mark, it means insert, meaning like, you have to insert something into something. So when you got the mark, you're inserting into the right hand or in the foreheads, which I say is like surgery. So that chip is exactly the mark of the beast. The chip is about a grain of rice. It's really small, and it sits right in there perfectly, where you can go and buy goods, sell goods, access into cars, homes, be able to, it's going to be able to have your whole identity on there. I explained this before. I'm gonna bring it back up. So there's no more need of a passport, a debit card, a credit card, or even like a bank account to look up. All those banks and all the different things are going to be obsolete. It's going to be one digital currency. That's why I don't deal with Bitcoin or anything like that anymore, because I personally believe Bitcoin as a digital currency is going to be, one of those, or something like that concept is going to be global. It's going to be one central government and one central currency that everybody has to follow. And so it's going to go down just like that. But we ain't taking that shit, because we believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, that he would deliver us through the situation. Now, I was talking a little bit about, you shouldn't take it. But let's see why you shouldn't take it, which is very famous. I'm going to go at it again. Revelation 14 and 9 through 11. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his right hand or hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the God, Yahweh the power, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone, and in the presence of the holy angels, and in the presence of the Lamb, which is the Lamb will be Yahweh Shah, the only begotten Son. He delivers, and he is the deliverer. And in the smoke of their torment ascendeth up and ever, and they have no rest nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Now, the beast would be like the system of basically what we're in right now, and also just the higher power in general. But that system and that particular mark itself, actually physically inserting that situation, worshiping it, and letting it be your God. Because think about this. How you worship the beast would be knowing the fact that you got the mark in general, so you effed. It's chalked already. Your kingdom of heaven ain't going nowhere. But what's going on is the fact that because you gotta remember, think about those people who willingly get in the chip. So when you willingly do it, you're worshiping the beast. So now you down with it. Like oh, I got my chip. Yo, yeah, what? Got my chip, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? We out here. I'm buying this or buying that. How about my new car I got, dog? Look, watch this. Put his hand to it, his door opened up. Damn, dog, that nigga stunting now. Oh, worshiping the beast. That's exactly what it's referring to when you just all the way down with it. And then actually taking the chip itself in the physical is the other part to it. You know what I mean? As far as actually doing that. Now, right here, some Christians will, you know what I mean? This is where I believe that the Most High, Yahweh Shemel Shah, gives his secrets to certain men. It's the reason why not a lot of people can understand the Bible in general, because of its particular parables and riddles and, particular wordings that people don't look up to understand the really truth and in depth of how words are made in the Bible. So, for example, a regular person reading, which I'm not really mad at them, but it is what it is. Like if you look at Revelation 14 and 10, it says, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh thy power, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. So now some people will be like, wow, so, you know what I mean? So he drinking wine while doing wrath. You know what I mean? They'll start looking at it literal. See, and that's just letting me know if that's how it comes out. This is where it comes with that interpretation thing. And then that interpretation also gets explained in the Bible too. So like it's straight out. But the understanding and the meanings of things need to be in play as well. That's why the Most High got his prophets out here doing their thing. They can break these things down, which was taught, by the elders and apostles, and then was given through the right doctrine. You can go ahead and do your thing as well. But it says, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, of Yahweh thy power. Well, that's kind of like self-explanatory. So like the drink of the wine of the wrath, or drink of the wine in general, is more or less like a metaphor of, a metaphor of basically Yahweh thy power's wrath in general. You know what I mean? It could be, he could have said, he could have said something like, yeah, in the bowl of food of his wrath of Yahweh thy power. Like it's just a metaphor of basically he mad as hell. That bowl is incredibly angry. And it says, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. So that could have been like, into the sink. It could have been like, take the food out of the bowl into the sink of his indignation. See, it's just a metaphor, but you gotta. I hope I explained that pretty well. Sometimes people tell me my explanations are pretty lame, but I thought that was still pretty insane, because a regular person would read it and be like, yeah, Revelation 14 talking about drinking wine or something like that, and then like it's a good way of chilling at the table, drinking some wine for real. Nah, it's not that. It's just a metaphor that the Most High is mad as fuck. And so then it says, he shall be tormented with fire and with brimstone in the presence of the holy angels, and in the presence of the Lamb, Yahweh Shah. And it says, in the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast in his image, or whosoever received the mark of his name. You see that right there? So it's like you got 2 to 3 minutes of insertion time to no rest, no rest day or night, and forever and ever burning, like forever and ever and ever. Now, most of the time, as of right now, in this particular reality in society, when you burn up, you burn temporarily. Let's break this down. Now, I'm learning that when you burn up, it hurts extremely bad for like the first, somewhat minutes or whatever, before the nerves are burnt down, and then you don't feel anything at all, and then you just dwindling away from from being burnt up, and which is very horrible. But the first couple whatever minutes of you felt when the nerves was in play, that was probably the most craziest pain in the world. I know people have burnt their finger before, like, damn, burnt myself. Just imagine your whole body times 1,000. And then the nerves go down, and then you just don't feel it no more, and you just die like that. But it ain't gonna be no nerves is burning down in this brimstone lake of fire situation. It ain't gonna be that. It's gonna be feeling that pain all day, every day, nonstop. That is insane of a mindset to think about. That I wish I can reach the masses of hearing me say this, because I ain't the only one saying this. But at the end of the day, though, you put that into perspective, that should strike fear in your heart, like burning, and then it won't stop. Oh no, that's just ridiculous. But I tell you what, let me show y'all this video regarding this particular YouTube video. Is by a channel called Hedgehog channel on YouTube. If you want to take a look at this one, this particular channel, I think I recommend it, man. He put some really good stuff up. Or whatever regarding prophecies in general. Like, it's not like he's putting up prophecies, but he's definitely his videos are biblical. They really are. Martial law and Illuminati and Mark of the Beast and anything the Bible was talking about, the EMP. I also think Jacob's Trouble might get started. This is my opinion. I could be wrong. The prophecy is going to happen regardless. I'm just kind of talking, so I'm not about to change nothing up or nothing like that. The economy is going to crash. That's going to lead up into some crazy stuff as well in Jacob's Trouble. And also, I really believe that a nuclear EMP bomb on the electrical grid is also how a famine might get started. That's just my thing, and I've been looking at as well. There's a so-called EMP strike that's going to be it's going to be up in the air and hit the grid of America and cause all electricity across the whole nation to be shut off. And he's talking about in between 6 to 10 months, 90% of Americans can die, which sounds about right to me. And so when you got no lights and no electricity, from a cell phone to cars to planes to no refrigeration, no nothing, that sounds like, a time like no other. Like, you know what I'm saying? That sounds like Jacob's Trouble as well, where it could be like where it said the sun will be darkened, which most likely will be darkened. But in the end of the day, though, at nighttime, ain't going to be no sun. And obviously it'll be completely pitch black dark. Ain't going to be no street lights. It ain't going to be no traffic lights or no little, maybe like a lighter or something like that. But phones or nothing ain't gonna work no more. So it's like pitch black every day. What type of chaos would that start? No food. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, pitch black dark. All you would hear is screams and fires and people screaming all throughout the night. And you know what I mean? Like, that's craziness. That gotta be Jacob's Trouble. But I want to put this video up. This is the first. I mean, 2 minutes, 3 minutes of this is the mark of the beast. In the spirit, I had to put this up. It was like, wow.
Now to the American company sparking a fierce debate across this country tonight. A business in Wisconsin implanting microchips in its employees, in the skin of their hands. So what are they tracking, and would you say yes if your boss asked you to do the same?
This is serious stuff. We're talking about a nonstop potential connection to my body. I can't turn it off. I can't put it away. It's in me. That's a big problem.
Somebody put an implant inside me. I found it this morning.
Back in 2004, the Manchurian Candidate suggested a future where humans are chipped and controlled. We have been warned.
3 Square says their employees cannot be tracked by satellite. Melissa Timmons was skeptical, but is now chipped.
Yeah, right now it's only to buy a candy bar and get in our building, but there's a lot more that's going to be coming with it.
Tonight, science fiction about to come to life at Wisconsin company 3 Square Market. What did the employees say when you brought this idea to them?
Half of them actually within 5 seconds says yes.
CEO Todd Westby, along with 50 employees, implanting microchips the size of a grain of rice between their forefingers and thumbs, allowing them to unlock doors at work, even pay for snacks with the swipe of a hand.
The microchips are radio frequency identification tags, the same technology widely used in things like key cards.
What did it take to persuade the holdouts?
Basically, we had to explain to them there's no tracking of the information. It's not GPS or anything like that.
Pinched a little bit, not bad at all though.
It takes just a few seconds, and Tony Danner is standing at a new frontier in technology.
It feels pretty amazing. It's excited about where we can take this technology.
Hi, I'm Esther. I'm here to introduce you to cake. Cake is a revolutionary.
Microchip implants have been around for some time. Jason Bourne's journey to discover his identity 15 years ago began after this chip was dug out of his back.
By next week, at least 50 of his 80 employees have signed up to become bionic, using what's called a R.F.I.D transponder in a microchip meant to make the workplace experience faster and more efficient.
So when you have the chip, you're just going to hold it up here and all those same options will come up?
Westby says they are not GPS enabled yet.
You're not going to be tracking your employees around town to see what they're up to and what they're doing?
No, we will not. It's for entrance to the building, logging into computers, making purchases in our break room market.
Westby says even if GPS became available, he would not use it on employees.
You may not even be aware of it, but groundwork is being laid.
Yeah, that's a little end of that one right there. Now, y'all see how Esau is, man. It's just willingly ready to do it. But I want to make some points. One, it will be GPS. He said yet. So, that's kind of, basically proving my point that it obviously will be. Definitely, if it ain't already. Two, my second point is the willingly part. You see where the man was like, how long did it take to get him to persuade him? He's like, within seconds, they was like, yes. That's called worshiping the beast. That's the system. They just already down with it. It's already cool. It's all love. You see what I'm saying? So, and you can also see where a couple of these movies are already prepping the situation. See, I'm learning what the system does. What they do is they plain sight the situation of what's going to come and then put it on a movie and make Hollywood dumb it down as if it's not going to go down like that at all. And so that's how they do. They just make it seem like it's like, you know what I mean? Like it's nilly-willy, like it's just like, oh, all right, yeah, that was a really good idea in a movie. It was just a movie and they keep it moving and end up coming out to be what it is in plain sight. That's just ridiculous, man. Don't take this chip because if you do, Revelation 14 and 14 and 10 and 11 will explain exactly what will happen if you take this chip. So-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Indians, don't do it. And I'm going to repeat this one again. Revelation 14 and 10. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh thy power, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, Yahweh Shah. And the smoke of their tormented ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day or night, who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever received the mark of his name. Don't do it. I'm telling you, don't do it. So, I'm definitely got to get this out. Preach to the lost sheep, definitely. This has got to be said, and shoot, this brother's out here, prophesying on the mark of the beast week by week. I'm just coming back with it, but you know, I'm just my opportunity to bring it back, and because it's never gonna get old, because it's going to come, and people got to know about this. Hope this was edifying. First things first, I want to give all praise to the Father Yahweh. He is, to be, He exists. Bahashem in the name, and the Lord and Savior, deliver, He delivers. The only begotten Son, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem in the name, and the Holy Spirit, Rakah Quadash. Double honors to the G Mess apostles that I learned this whole truth from. And peace and blessings to the Akim out there preaching His word with whole heart, truth, and sincerity. And blessings to the 144,000 and the 1/3 first fruits of kingdom of heaven. Most High willing, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua willing, I'm one of those men. Spiritual power is coming. Looking forward to it. I desire that. Doing His work, keeping it moving. And confusion faces was going on, speaking in different tongues of different nations. Shalom.